Hi, and welcome to this animation tutorial for beginners for HitFilm. Let's get straight to the point and have a look at the video we'll recreate together in this tutorial. It's a 20-second demo animation for an imaginary company.
Tired of taking selfies? Are you stressed in front of the camera? At photoshoot123.com, we got you covered. Update your LinkedIn profile with a professional photo. Or update your dating apps and have people literally fall in love with the new you. The possibilities are endless. Sign up now and get started.
Alright, pretty awesome, right? And don't worry if this looks a bit overwhelming right now. I promise, you'll be able to do the exact same thing in HitFilm right after watching this video. Now, there are multiple ways to produce animation, and in this tutorial for beginners, I'll show you what I think is the absolute simplest, easiest and fastest way. We will use something called stock animation, which is a library of ready-to-use assets that enable you to have access to professional level animations at your fingertips that you can have right now in HitFilm within minutes, with literally drag and drop simplicity. However, if your goal is to become a professional animator and build all of these yourself from scratch, that requires around 1,000 hours to acquire those skills, and this tutorial is not for you. And unfortunately, that process is not even possible in HitFilm. However, if you like to skip all that boring stuff though, and get straight to the end result right now, instead of months from now, if you'd like to have the same quality of animations right now after watching this video without any previous experience or animation skills, then please keep watching. And as a bonus, I'll provide all the stock animation assets from this tutorial for you for free, so that you can also follow along in HitFilm. Download link in the description. Alright, so here we are in HitFilm. So whenever you start any sort of animation project, whether it's an explainer video, a sales video, training video, or whatever it is, you usually start from an idea. And then you actually put that idea into words and you write a script. And from that script, you most likely record a voiceover, which I already have right here. And if you're using stock animation to produce the animation, so if you're choosing the easy and fast way to do it, you have to go online and find a bunch of stock animation clips that are relevant to your script and to the scenes in your video. So I already went ahead and did all that. I have all my footage and files here. I got some music, some stock animation, and the voiceover. So let's select all of that and import it into HitFilm. Alright, so first, whenever I start a new project, I usually prefer to start with the voiceover because the voiceover is going to be the foundation in terms of the timings, right? So I'm going to add the voiceover here on the timeline as my first item. And then next, I want to add the music as well here on the bottom.
Photo or update your data.
But right now, the music is way too loud, so you cannot really hear anything. So I'm just going to make sure with the music selected, go here under controls. And for level, let's just change it to say -26.
Dating apps and have people literally fall in love with the new
Actually, let's make it -28.
you.
Because you want people to be able to focus on the voiceover and not be hard to listen to the voice because of the music, right? All right. And also it's going to be really important. If you look here on the timeline, you see those little things going up and down. That's basically an audio waveform. When there's nothing being said, like here in the beginning, you can see basically what is a flat line, right? So you're gonna be able to see this as we're editing, but basically here there's a small little pause in between sentences.
Tired of taking selfies?
Pause. So that's an indication that this is the first scene, this is another waveform, and another pause here. So basically here would be a new scene and so on and so forth. This is going to be really useful later on because you want to make sure what's happening on screen matches what's being said in the voiceover just to keep things very relevant, right? All right, so next, I'm actually going to select all of the items here and import all of them on the timeline here, all the stock animation that I have. Because some of the stock animation clips unfortunately come with a separate track here for the audio. Even though the audio is empty, it's still quite annoying because it's hard to move around and you risk actually putting on top of something else. So what we want to do is you want to right click on each one and go to unlink. This way you can select the audio track individually and hit backspace. So I'm going to do that for the other ones as well. Actually, those three here do not have an audio track, so we're going to skip those. That's good. You can still edit with the audio track as well connected to it like this, but it's just a little bit annoying and gets in the way. So unlink, and now you can select all the audio tracks, hit backspace, and we're all good. So let's just clean up a little bit. So we have this scene. This scene is going to go together. I already know that. So I kind of know what stock animation clips are going to go where because I already picked them based on the script, right? So I know we're starting the video with this one, for example, so I'll move it first. This one where she's happy. This one goes at the end. Let's say this one, she's being stressed. This one is the second one. Okay. I already know, for example, this one where she's dressed a little bit different. I already know this one, I want to use it with this icon of LinkedIn, so I'm just going to put them together. Oh, right now it actually goes on top. Let me just do this instead. There you go. So you see, actually, they are transparent. So if you put them on top of each other, the background is transparent, so you can see what's on the layer below. All right, so let's see. This one is going to probably go here. Yeah, because we're talking about the dating apps. Okay, cool. So they kind of are in order. I'm just going to move them a little bit closer like this because I want to zoom in on the timeline a little bit like this. So first thing that I notice on the voiceover is that here in the beginning, there's a bit of a pause, like nothing is being said. So I wanted to start directly with the voiceover, not with like, I don't know, half a second of pause. So I'm going to trim that and then move the whole voiceover a little bit to the left. So we're starting off with this clip right here.
Tired of taking selfies?
All the way to around here. But the thing is, so this is a 10-second clip of her taking a selfie and moving around. And I don't want all of it. I literally only want like, I don't know, like 1 second of it. And for me, the best second of this clip is where she kind of leans in like this to take a selfie. So I'm going to cut out the other part here on the left. Move the entire clip a little bit early. And I know based on the waveform that this is where it ends, the scene. So trim the ending as well. So this is where we start the new scene that says,
"Are you stressed in front of the camera?"
Okay, so for this, I'm going to use this clip of her being stressed. And as you can see, we have a bunch of different stock animation clips of the same character, different characters, different genders, ethnicities, everything that you want to be able to say the story that you need to tell. All right, so trim the ending here. Oops. Trim the ending here as well. And
Tired of taking selfies? Are you stressed in front of the camera?
All right, so far so good. I like what we have. Let me just zoom in and move everything a little bit closer now here, so I can see better what we're doing. Zoom back in. And one thing that really stands out right now to me is the fact that the background is black. So let's go ahead and change the background to something like some sort of color, so it looks a little bit more aesthetic. To do that, go here to New Clip, click on Plane. I'm going to call this Background. And then for the color, you can just select whatever you want. In our case, I want to go with some sort of like soft blue like this. Just keep it very, very light. Click OK. OK. There you go. But again, those assets are transparent. And the way layers and actually tracks work in video editing, you need to move the stock animation tracks on top because it's going to reveal what's on the track below them. In this case, the background color. So move this actually on the first video track. Put those two on top here. And let me just zoom out. I'm going to select all of those as well and move them one track higher so that I can go ahead and extend the background to here. All right, and now let's zoom back in. So let's see here this is the next scene. I can already see it on the waveform. Let's see what it says. Oops.
At photoshoot123.com, we got you covered.
So this is where you introduce the name of your company, the logo, and so on. And obviously it's an imaginary company, so we don't really have a logo. So I'm just going to go ahead and use this icon because I think it's really, really nice. Move it all the way to here. And let me just trim it at the end. Yeah, because a camera icon could definitely work for a photo shooting app. So let's see. If I select this selection tool, I can actually move it a little bit higher like this. And actually can resize it too as well, but it's going to get distorted. So I'm going to undo that. And actually for me, I prefer to just go here under controls. And here under transform, we got scale. And I prefer to just use that instead. And also for the position, you can also change it from here. So this is where we have the logo, but we need to introduce the company name as well, or the domain. So again, go here to new clip so that we can add some text. And it added some text here. I'm going to move it perfectly here and to fit the scene. And I need to start typing here. So let's just say photoshoot123.com, which is the name of this imaginary company. And with the text layer selected here on the timeline, again, go to controls, position, and I'm just going to move it here below the camera. And if I scroll through the tabs here, we can get to text. And this is where you can change the font to something else. But personally, I really like Montserrat. And actually, to change the font, you need to make sure you have all the text selected. This is where you can change it to whatever else you prefer. But again, personally, I really like Montserrat. And I'm going to go with 92 for the size. That's good. And let's go with bold. And if you like to change the color to something else, this is where you do it. But in our case, I think black looks really good. We got good contrast, so we're going to stick with that. All right, let's see. What do we have next?
Update your LinkedIn profile with a professional photo.
All right, so here I want to make things a little bit dynamic. And it's this selection here. So I have the same character as before, but now dressed a little bit more professionally because we're talking about LinkedIn. And at the same time, I also want to have two elements on screen because, I mean, why not, right? So, yeah, just going to put the LinkedIn icon there on the bottom. And I'm going to put the woman on top as well. And yeah, I'm going to follow the waveform here. This is where the scene ends. Trim the ending here. And now let's see. Actually, now that I have the woman selected, I can move her out of the way to the side. And then have the LinkedIn icon as well, move it out of the way. You can also resize it here if you want, actually. And if you hold down the shift key, it's going to maintain the proportions. So you can do that as well. Just to make the scene a little bit more balanced like this. I like it. All right, now let's see. Oops. Let's see what we have next.
Or update your dating apps and
So I want to keep using this formula with an icon and a character on screen because it just looks awesome, right? So I have this selection here, this group. Move them here so it matches perfectly. But this is a pretty short scene all the way to around here, let's say. So for the icon, yeah, we can just trim it like that. But for the character animation, I have 10 seconds and I only need to use like around the best second or so from it. So for me, the best second to use is this one right here where she's moving her hand to touch the phone. For me, that's the best one, I think. So select the item here and trim the beginning. Then move it at the start of the scene and let's trim the ending as well. And now let's see what we have.
update your LinkedIn profile with a professional photo. Or update.
Oh, actually, yeah, I forgot to position them correctly. So right now they're on top of each other. And because in this scene we have the icon on the left and the character on the right, let's just keep the same sort of formula and make it dynamic. So in this case, we're going to move the woman on the left side and have the icon, and have the icon on the right side. And hold down Shift so we can resize it right here. And in order to select them here, if you cannot do it, just make sure you have this tool selected. And yeah, I think that looks pretty balanced.
Dating apps and have people literally fall in love with the new you.
All right, so I'm gonna make things even more dynamic here. So I'm actually going to use 3 characters on screen at the same time. So let's just bring everything a little bit closer, zoom back in, and yeah, right now you can only see actually 1 character, but they're all 3 of them are actually here, but they're on top of each other, right? So let me select the first one and drag it out of the way to this side. Let me select the one on the bottom and drag it here as well. So we can now see all 3 of them on screen, nice and balanced. And again, it's a 10-second clip for each one. And I only want to keep the best part. And for me, the best part is this one where they lean in at the same time, which is really cool. So I'm going to select all 3 of them, trim all of them at the same time, and now move them at the start of the sentence, the start of the scene, which is here. And I can see from the waveform that this is where we have a break. So that's where the scene ends. So now I need to trim the ending as well. And now we got perfect timing.
The possibilities are endless.
All right, so the next scene, it's a moment of celebration and we're talking about possibilities. Our main character, she's super happy. So we use this clip where she's just happy, raising her hand in the air and so on.
The possibilities are endless. Sign up now and get started.
And for the last scene, which is basically our call to action, I just want to reuse those 2 elements here. So the text and what is basically our logo, let's say. So I will select both of them like this, right click, where are we? Copy, then move the playhead. So this is the playhead, move it here, right click and paste here. Oops. So yeah, just gotta bring them a little bit lower here. All right. And now I also need to actually change the text. So let's use the text tool here, select all the text. Because the voiceover says sign up now, ! And we want that to match. And also really important, whenever you end the video, you can see here like each element kind of ends at different times. So that's not good because now we still have this stuff on screen, but not the background or the music. So we want to have all of them end at the exact same time, minus the voiceover because the voiceover kind of ended anyway and it doesn't really matter.
And get started.
All right, so right now, actually, I like the ending, but the only problem is that the music just ends abruptly. So to fix that, let's just add a fade out. To add a fade out, it's super simple. Just make sure you have the music selected here. Let's go to controls. We got the level property, which is already at -28. So I'm going to click this button right here and it added a keyframe. So this tells HitFilm that at this point in time, the music needs to be -28. So if I move my playhead to here and I change this to, let's say, -72, oops, -50, let's say, yeah. It's going to add a nice little fade out as you can see here. So it goes from this volume all the way down to here. So let's play that back.
Sign up now and get started.
Much smoother. All right, now let's move our playheads at the beginning and watch the whole thing and see what we made together so far.
Tired of taking selfies? Are you stressed in front of the camera? At photoshoot123.com, we got you covered. Update your LinkedIn profile with a professional photo, or update your dating apps and have people literally fall in love with the new you. The possibilities are endless. Sign up now and get started.
All right, I think that looks absolutely amazing. And if you think about it, we literally spent only, like 10, maybe 15 minutes to create this amazing 20-second of animation that would normally take you 20, 30, 40 hours to do it yourself from scratch, assuming you have the skills, which would take another couple of hundreds of hours, maybe 1,000 hours to actually acquire. So as you can see, this is very simple to do, like literally anyone can do it. It doesn't require any previous animation experience. It doesn't require any crazy animation skills. If anything, it only requires some very basic video editing skills in HitFilm that you can probably acquire just by watching this tutorial. But honestly, if you're watching this tutorial, you most probably have HitFilm installed already, and you most probably know how to use it, at least at a basic level, so that's all you need. Literally, anyone can achieve the exact same sort of results with stock animation. Now, the big question is, where can you find stock animation? You might be able to find some animation clips here and there on big stock platforms, but those are rare, because they usually specialize in stock footage shot with a camera, so for them, animation is not even an afterthought. The only place online dedicated exclusively to stock animation is VideoPlasty.com, the world's only animation-first stock platform. Full disclosure, I'm Edward Stunga, founder of VideoPlasty. We built VideoPlasty with one single goal in mind: to make animation easy, simple, and accessible to everyone, regardless of budget or previous animation experience. That's why we build and curate professionally animated assets that you can have access to with drag and drop simplicity, compatible with all of your favorite video editing software. Have a look on the website, we have plenty of characters, icons, scenes, and a lot more. Our items are generally sold individually, but are also available in bundles at a massively discounted price. Pricing is also very simple and straightforward. You can either pay per item, or you can choose a monthly subscription with download credits or unlimited downloads. Use the discount code in the description to get 25% off your first order. This was Edward Stunga, founder of VideoPlasty.com. If you watched all the way to the end, you are awesome. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and until next time, stay creative.